Hello. Welcome to my first live stream. We're going to try to figure this out together here. If anyone is there, will you say hi in the chat? Say hello. I see a few people on here. Okay. We'll get started in about 1 minute. Hello. Oh my gosh. Friendly faces. Marlon, Stephanie, so nice to see you here. Excellent. Thank you. All right, if you have any requests, you can let me know. I have a little bit of a lesson plan, but you can let me know what you want to work on. If there's anything specific, I'll see if I can find a way to do that. But I'm so glad to see some familiar faces here. Thank you. All right, excellent. All right. Just turning on some music here. Aw, thanks, Marlon. All right, so we are going to get started. A few new faces there, I think. Yeah. So anyway, all right. So wherever you are, just get nice and grounded. Flatten your feet on the floor. If you have any problems hearing me or any other suggestions, let me know. And we're just going to start by taking a nice deep breath. As I often start in my classes, we're going to make sure that we breathe into our stomach and let it be nice and loose and not held, not lifted, but not held in. All right, so find some looseness in your stomach and take some nice deep breaths all the way down to your feet. And close your eyes, breathe into all your fingers and all your toes, and just kind of get present in your body before we start. Take an audible breath if you've had that kind of day, which with the snow, maybe you have, or maybe it's been relaxing. So, all right, so we're going to start just by taking some nice little nose circles and just starting to loosen things up. So I want you to especially be mindful of just finding any kinks in your body today and start breathing into them. So just take some nose circles, circle around. I'm imagining like I have like a disc in front of me and I'm just tracing that, and go the other way. And again, being mindful of any ticks or clicks going on in your body that you might need to give a little attention to. You can stop if you need to and give a little extra stretch. Good. Shrug your shoulders up to your ears and really squeeze and drop. Again, up to your ears, squeeze and drop, and roll one at a time. I'm doing a little sway with my upper body. That's optional. If you've been studying with me before or have done belly dance before, you might want to do a sway. Otherwise, you can just stay in place, rolling back. I like to keep my hands attached to my body here rather than kind of flying out to the side. And then roll forward. Just a couple more. Good. Now reach up and back, up and back. We're going to circle our hands. So if you're just circling one, again, imagining this disc in front of you and circling around. You can also use both hands at once, or you can alternate, whatever works best for you today. If you've been studying a little bit before, you can also move your hands around your body and just explore the space around you. Otherwise, you'll just stay here together or one at a time. Good, just a couple more. And then just a little stretch back of your hands. And down the other way, other side. All right, good. Everyone doing all right? Good. Okay, so we're gonna move down to our hips. We're gonna just keep our upper body nice and still. All right, and you're gonna slide your hips from side to side. So I'll move back so maybe you can see more. You're gonna wanna make sure your knees are soft. You're never gonna want your knees to be bent when we're doing any of these movements, or sorry, straight. You're gonna want them a little bit bent, and you're gonna just slide, slide. Speed it up. If you feel like adding some arms, you can bring your arms around with you. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep your arms framing your hips or out in this position here. A little faster. Slow again. Speed it up. Optional arms. A little faster. Good. All right, so let's do, this is our backwards figure 8. So instead of going straight to the side, you're gonna push out to the front, scoop back, slide out to the other side, scoop back, scoop back, scoop back, just to find this nice sway and flow with your hips. I'll show you from the back. If you want to add arms, you can, but this is optional. Another arm you can do is just sort of framing your hips. Just sway back. Now we're going to try to go forward. So I'm going to push my hip to the back, scoop forward. Push back, scoop forward. Back, forward. Back, and forward. This is harder for about 90% of my students. Usually going back is easier, but sometimes this one's easier. Again, you want to make sure your knees are nice and soft. Speeding it up a little bit. Make sure your hands are nice and steady. A few more. We're going to go back again, okay? So angle forward, sway back. Forward, sway back. Optional arms. You want to be mindful about not kind of blocking your body. So sometimes there can be a tendency to kind of bring our arms here, and that takes away from the flow of our hips. So keep them out to the side in one way or another. You could even lift. Try to speed up a little bit. A little challenging. And forward, slow. Okay, so going back the other way, angling back, coming forward. Speed it up. Just have a little fun, get a little faster with it, and shake everything out. All right, so we're gonna do now some hip circles. Anyone have any questions? We're all doing all right here? All right. So you want to imagine that your hips here are on a shelf, so they're not tilting, lifting up and down. We're just popping out to the side, and then we're going to push forward and side and back, and then circling our hips around in a circle. All right. Now you want to be mindful about making the circle with your pelvic floor. So here, I'm keeping things pretty contained. If I were sort of doing a big circle out like this, then it would look really loose. So I want to make sure it's sort of centered on the inside of my hips and my pelvic floor. All right, so just circle around. Optional arms, framing here, out to the side, up overhead. See what feels good with your body today. And we're just going to turn the music up a little bit and just do the circles that one direction. Optional arms. Question? Yeah, it's okay if you can't hear the music. I'll turn it up a little bit and see if that helps. Any better? Hi, Tony. So, circle. I'll work on the technical challenges. This just came up today. Okay. Keep going. Again, if you want to move your arms around with it, you can. Have fun with it. Play around with the size of your circle, small or big, or just keep it in the middle. Okay, good. All right, keep going a little bit more. And try just changing directions. Optional arms, you can move them around. Try speeding it up. Or keep it slow. Being online, it's a good place to sort of experiment with what feels good for your body. And to sort of be a little bit uninhibited and not worry about what people see or what other people are doing. Play around with your speed and size. Good. Shake it out. We'll do our side-sided a little bit again. All right, we're going to add a double side-side. It is nice that no one can see you in your pajamas. Speed it up. Optional arms. So I'm doing a flex of my glute to get that sharpness. Flex, 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 flex. Without that, it's going to look more like this. You can also practice with moving around. No one to run into. Have fun with it. Play a little bit. All right. Good. So we are going to do, everyone's doing good? Okay, excellent. All right, so this is going to be our lift and drop hip. So I'm going to have my weight on one leg, and I'm going to bend this, or just use this for balance on the other side, and I'm going to lift and drop my hip. All right, so I'm lifting up here. When I drop, there's sort of a transfer of the weight to my, my opposite glute. So lift and drop, lift and drop, lift and drop. So I like to, when I'm using my arms, you can just frame them down here. You can do our regular position there. If you're going to bring your arms up here, I always frame the hip that is doing the movement. So that way I'm sort of accentuating that as opposed to sort of like being over here and then the hip I want people to look at is over on the other side. So just be mindful of that. Okay. So start on one side. Weight here, balance here, and lift and drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop. Again, you can always put your arms here or frame your hips here. Oh, change music. Speed it up. If you want to play around, you can pivot on that foot. Try making a circle, see how that goes. Just something to play with. Up, down, up, down. Speed up a little more, a little smaller, a little tighter. All right, shake it out. Switch sides, slow on the other side. Lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, and drop. So I'm pulling up towards my rib cage, dropping towards my opposite glute. Speed up a little bit. You have your optional turn. Arms can be up or down or to the side or framing. Speed up a little more. Now, we're going to try doing both sides just in place. Lift, 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 lift. Optional arms. Just really the focus is on the lift here. Again, you can go in a circle. Just for something new for those of you who've taken a while. You can walk forward and back. All right. So we're going to do our, everyone's good? Get the hang of this online thing, maybe eventually. All right. So we're going to do just a little bit with our shoulders first. So just tapping forward in our shoulder shimmy. So tap forward. Keeping our hands steady. We don't want our arms kind of moving around. We want to really isolate our shoulder. Not moving our chest a whole lot. It's really just like we're tapping forward with our shoulder. You can also, I think you can see here, you can also practice tapping backwards. I know it's a little dark over here, and just tapping backwards against a wall. So that can help you also isolate this movement. Okay, so good. Tap forward, 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 forward. Tap, tap, Speed it up. Be mindful of your hands. You can also do a little bit of an angle change, so leaning forward and a little bit back, or just in place. Speed it up. You can also just shift your weight from side to side. You can stay here, or you can try to speed up a little bit more and find a little bit of a shimmy and shake. Otherwise, you can just still keep going slow. Oh. All right. Slowing down a little bit. We are going to do a chest lift and drop. So you're going to take your rib cage and lift and drop. Lift, drop. You can use your breath, but ultimately you don't want your breath connected to this. Lift, relax. Elongate your spine and your abdomen and then relax. Lift up. A few more. Even if you're just moving 1/4 of an inch up and down, that's fine. Now, we're going to try to move side to side. So imagining that our rib cage is on a shelf, push to the side. Keeping pretty straight here. I don't want to like bend. And again, even if it's a very small movement, side, 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 side. Speed up if you can. Music does not want me to, so we're going to go slow. Especially slow. There we go. Play around with it. All right. Nice deep breath. Reach up and wave your hands down, pushing forward with your palms, back with your fingertips. Up. Now, big stretch. You're going to grab your wrist. Just lean over. Take a nice deep breath into any tight spots. And over to the other side. Reach out. Little plie down. One more. All right. We're going to arch and contract our back like a standing cat-cow. Back to our shoulder rolls. And forward. All right. So that was our mini. I went over a little bit, our little mini 20-minute lesson. Does anyone have any questions about the class? Everyone do all right out there? Oh, thank you. So nice to have you here. Um, yeah, so thank you for joining me in my thank you, Stephanie. So yeah, thank you for joining my in my experiment. I didn't have a whole lot of time to work the technology out today. But when we couldn't have class tonight, I just wanted to get us a start. So thank you for being with me on my little experimental journey, and maybe we'll do this again soon. So, oh, good. I'm so glad. Thank you, Mary and Tony. Um, all right, wonderful. So I guess no questions. So I'll let you all go, and I hope to dance with you in person or here soon. So thank you so much. Have a great night.